Joyce Meyer has long been one of the most recognizable voices in global Christian broadcasting, known for her teaching on healing, emotional resilience, and practical faith. Over several decades, her program, Enjoying Everyday Life, built a large international audience and established her as a leading figure in faith-based media. In recent years, however, parts of her ministry's public presence have been affected by broader shifts in religious broadcasting, including changing viewer habits, platform transitions, and reported disruptions in long-standing media partnerships. Discussions circulating online have suggested instability linked to network relationships and evolving distribution channels, particularly as ministries increasingly rely on digital platforms rather than single television networks. While supporters emphasize continuity in her teaching and outreach, critics and commentators point to reduced visibility in some traditional broadcast spaces as evidence of a transitional period. At the same time, the broader Christian media industry is undergoing structural change, with audience fragmentation and platform competition reshaping how ministries operate. This combination of industry transformation and public speculation has created a narrative of uncertainty around her ministry's current phase. However, much of what is discussed remains interpretive or based on unverified claims, making it important to separate confirmed operational changes from speculation. What is clear is that the ministry continues to adapt to a rapidly evolving media environment. Early life and personal foundations. Joyce Meyer's early life is often referenced in her teachings as a foundational part of her personal and spiritual journey. Born in the United States during a turbulent historical period, she has described experiencing a difficult childhood marked by emotional instability within her home environment. These early experiences, which she has spoken about publicly in interviews and writings, became central to her later emphasis on healing, forgiveness, and emotional recovery. According to her own accounts, these formative years influenced her understanding of pain, identity, and faith. She has frequently connected her personal history to her broader message, particularly her focus on overcoming trauma through spiritual resilience and practical mindset change. This autobiographical framing has resonated with many followers who see her teachings as grounded in lived experience rather than abstract theology. Her early adulthood involved gradual steps toward independence, education, and eventual involvement in Christian ministry activities. Over time, she transitioned from local Bible studies to broader teaching roles. These early stages are often described as humble beginnings that laid the groundwork for her later national and international reach. While interpretations of her early life vary depending on perspective, it remains a consistent reference point in understanding how she developed her ministry style and communication approach. Rise of a global teaching ministry. The growth of Joyce Meyer's ministry began in the mid to late 20th century through small Bible study groups that gradually expanded in size and influence. Her communication style, direct, practical, and focused on emotional healing, helped her connect with audiences seeking relatable spiritual teaching. Over time, these gatherings evolved into structured ministry programs, including radio broadcasts and teaching events. A significant turning point came with the expansion of her radio ministry, which reached wider regional audiences and established her presence in Christian media. This growth eventually led to the launch of television programming, which significantly amplified her reach. Her show became internationally syndicated, marking a shift from local ministry to global influence. During this period, her teachings on emotional health, thought patterns, and personal transformation gained substantial traction. Books and audio programs further expanded her audience, with several becoming widely distributed within Christian and general self-help markets. Supporters credit this phase with democratizing access to practical Christian teaching, while critics have occasionally debated theological emphasis and messaging style. Nevertheless, the expansion phase solidified her position as a prominent figure in modern evangelical media. Expansion through media and publishing. As her influence grew, Joyce Meyer Ministries developed a multi-platform media strategy that included television production, publishing, conferences, and humanitarian outreach. The flagship program, Enjoying Everyday Life, became a central component of this expansion, broadcasting across multiple countries and networks. Publishing played a major role in reinforcing her message. Books addressing emotional healing, mindset renewal, and spiritual growth reached large audiences and were translated into numerous languages. These publications helped extend her ministry beyond television viewers, allowing her teachings to circulate widely in bookstores and online platforms. The ministry also invested in production facilities and global distribution systems, enabling consistent content output. Conferences and live events further strengthened engagement, drawing large audiences and reinforcing her brand of practical, testimony-driven teaching. At the same time, the ministry's financial growth and visibility drew increased public attention. As with many large faith-based organizations, expansion brought both admiration and scrutiny. Supporters viewed the growth as evidence of impact, while critics raised questions about transparency and organizational structure. This dual perspective became a recurring theme as the ministry entered its most visible and influential phase: public criticism and financial scrutiny. As Joyce Meyer's ministry expanded, it also became the subject of public criticism and media scrutiny. Reports published over the years raised questions about compensation levels, organizational spending, and leadership practices within large televangelist ministries. Some of these reports highlighted executive salaries and lifestyle choices associated with ministry leadership, which sparked broader debates about financial accountability in religious organizations. In response to growing attention, the ministry stated that its financial practices were subject to audits and external oversight. It also aligned itself with accountability organizations aimed at improving transparency in nonprofit operations. These steps were intended to address public concerns and strengthen governance structures. Despite these measures, discussions about prosperity teaching and financial ethics in televangelism continued. Critics argued that certain messaging approaches could blur the line between spiritual guidance and material expectations, while supporters maintained that the ministry emphasized emotional and spiritual transformation over material gain. Over time, this tension between criticism and support became a stable feature of public discourse surrounding the ministry. Rather than diminishing influence, it contributed to ongoing visibility and debate about the role of large-scale religious broadcasting organizations, investigations, and accountability discussions. In the late 2000s, several high-profile inquiries into televangelist organizations brought renewed attention to financial practices within major ministries, including Joyce Meyer Ministries. These investigations generally focused on transparency, governance, and the use of donated funds across large nonprofit religious organizations. The ministry cooperated with requests for documentation and maintained that it adhered to applicable legal and ethical standards. External reviews and audits did not establish wrongdoing, but they contributed to broader conversations about accountability in religious broadcasting. Following this period, the ministry adopted additional governance measures, including clearer reporting structures and membership in accountability organizations. These steps were presented as efforts to strengthen trust and improve organizational oversight. Despite these changes, public perception remained divided. Some observers viewed the reforms as meaningful progress, while others believed that larger systemic issues in televangelism required broader industry reform. The situation reflected a wider pattern in which high-visibility ministries often face ongoing scrutiny, regardless of formal compliance. As a result, accountability became a recurring theme in discussions about the ministry's long-term sustainability and credibility. Network relationships and broadcast disruptions. In more recent years, discussions have emerged online regarding changes in Joyce Meyer Ministries' broadcast distribution and network relationships. Some commentary has suggested disruptions in long-standing television partnerships, while others attribute changes to broader industry restructuring rather than a single cause. The Christian broadcasting landscape has undergone significant transformation, with traditional television networks facing competition from streaming platforms, social media, and on-demand content. As a result, many ministries have diversified their distribution strategies to maintain audience reach. Reports and speculation surrounding specific network changes have circulated widely, but not all claims are independently verified or officially confirmed. What is generally observed is a gradual shift away from reliance on single network distribution toward multi-platform engagement. This transition has required ministries to adapt production strategies, audience engagement methods, and content delivery systems. While such changes can be interpreted as instability, they are also consistent with broader media industry trends affecting many organizations. In this context, broadcast disruptions are often less about singular controversies and more about structural evolution within the media environment. Transition to digital platforms. As traditional broadcasting continues to evolve, Joyce Meyer Ministries has expanded its presence across digital platforms including streaming services, social media, and online video channels. This shift reflects a broader trend among global ministries seeking to engage younger and more digitally connected audiences. Digital platforms offer more direct interaction with viewers, including live streams, short-form devotionals, and interactive teaching formats. These tools allow ministries to maintain engagement even as television viewership declines in certain demographics. However, the transition also presents challenges. Digital environments are highly competitive, with attention spans divided across numerous content sources. Maintaining consistent audience engagement requires frequent content production and strategic communication. Despite these challenges, the ministry has continued to distribute teaching materials and maintain a presence across multiple online channels. This approach reflects an adaptive strategy rather than a complete replacement of traditional media. Overall, the shift toward digital platforms represents both an opportunity and a structural necessity within the changing media landscape. Trust, perception, and public narrative. Public perception plays a significant role in how large ministries are evaluated, particularly when they operate across global media platforms. In Joyce Meyer's case, discussions about trust often intersect with broader debates about transparency, leadership accountability, and financial stewardship in religious organizations. Supporters tend to emphasize consistency in her teaching and the personal impact of her messages on emotional and spiritual well-being. Critics, on the other hand, focus on governance structures and historical controversies within televangelism as a whole. Online narratives sometimes amplify selective aspects of this broader discussion, creating simplified interpretations of complex organizational changes. This can result in narratives that emphasize decline or crisis even when the underlying situation reflects adaptation or restructuring. Within this environment, maintaining trust requires ongoing communication, transparency, and visible accountability measures. Ministries operating at scale often face heightened scrutiny, making perception management an ongoing challenge alongside operational responsibilities. Ultimately, trust becomes both a relational and institutional factor shaped by long-term engagement rather than single events or reports. Legacy, influence, and the lasting impact of her ministry. Regardless of the controversies, media transitions, and public debates surrounding Joyce Meyer Ministries, Joyce Meyer's influence on modern Christian teaching remains significant. Over several decades, she helped shape a style of ministry that combined personal testimony, practical psychology, and accessible spiritual instruction. Her willingness to discuss trauma, emotional struggles, fear, anxiety, and personal recovery opened conversations that were often avoided in traditional religious settings. For many followers, her teachings provided encouragement during difficult periods of life and offered practical tools for dealing with emotional pain and spiritual uncertainty. Through books, conferences, television broadcasts, and digital outreach, her ministry reached audiences far beyond church walls, especially individuals who felt disconnected from conventional religious structures. Her communication style, which emphasized honesty and relatability, became a defining characteristic of her public image. At the same time, her legacy remains closely tied to larger discussions about modern televangelism, financial accountability, and the relationship between ministry and media influence. Supporters view her as a resilient figure who transformed personal hardship into a message of hope, while critics continue to question aspects of large-scale ministry culture and governance. Even amid changing platforms and evolving public expectations, her ministry continues to maintain a dedicated audience across multiple channels. Whether viewed as a pioneering communicator, a controversial televangelist, or a combination of both, Joyce Meyer's impact on contemporary Christian broadcasting and faith-based self-help teaching is likely to remain influential for years to come. Conclusion and future outlook. The current phase of Joyce Meyer Ministries reflects a broader transformation affecting global religious media. Shifts in broadcasting platforms, increased digital competition, and heightened public scrutiny have collectively reshaped how large ministries operate and communicate. While some narratives emphasize instability or decline, the broader context suggests adaptation to structural changes in media and audience behavior. The move toward diversified platforms, including digital streaming and online engagement, aligns with industry-wide trends rather than isolated disruption. At the same time, discussions about transparency and accountability remain central to public discourse around major ministries. These concerns are not unique to one organization, but reflect ongoing expectations placed on large nonprofit institutions. Looking ahead, the ministry's continued relevance will likely depend on its ability to balance legacy broadcasting with modern digital engagement while maintaining trust with its audience. In this sense, the present moment represents not a definitive endpoint, but a transitional period shaped by both challenge and adaptation.